Hello, my name is Mindy, and today I want to talk about ENFJs from the ENFP perspective, of course. I think this match, if I'm talking about relationships, it's an underrated match. So, not many people talk about it, and many people is like busy with, yeah, you should date an INFJ, you should date an INTJ, but a lot of people have forgotten the ENFJ. Okay, let's start with it might not be like the most powerful match, but it can work really well. Why? Well, I think they have something that the ENFP needs, and that's sympathy. We need someone who is like really caring and who is in tune with the other person, with what the other person is going through. That's something that ENFP love, that ENFP wants, desires, and longs for. And the ENFJ can really provide for that. Um, Next to that, so they're dominant FE, so the extrovert feelers. Um, and I actually like, I see them actually very, sometimes, not always, like they can be very alike INFJs. I'm not gonna talk in detail about functions in this video because yeah, I just want to keep it simple. They can be very alike, but what I like of ENFJ, sorry, is that they have SE as a third function, and this can make like a very nice complementary relationship for if you're talking about like a match for living together or starting up a project because we have like we are ENFPs, we're very creative, right? And we are like the spontaneous, full of energy and all of that that ENFJs love. And we are great at not only brainstorming but also at making other people see the potential in their work, in their inputs, in whatever they are thinking or their ideas. Some people cannot see it, and ENFJs, they do like that validation from other people. It's like ENFJs have like their own cheerleader with the ENFP, and ENFP has, they're not like a cheerleader, but they have like the sympathy and the grounding they need from another person. It's also like ENFJs validate big time what we do, what we have to offer, but it's more like the validation is different, although it's both our validation. So they validate the ENFPs as in a way like, I know you can do this, or we doubt a lot because we have many ideas and we have had always many ideas. Whenever we pick one, we doubt, and the ENFJ can come and say like, I trust you and I know like you're doing great, or I don't know, ENFP needs a rest and ENFP doesn't want to take a rest because thinks that that means being lazy. SI, we don't want to rest, we just want to do. And ENFJ is like grounding and says like, you need that, you take it, you like, it would do you well. Like they know what the ENFP needs, kind of. It's like they have this magic thing. So it's like grounding. And then yeah, I think when I think of ENFJs, I think of a very grounded person. Of course, you have of all of the types, but I can see how the ENFP can make the ENFJ's life kind of more joyful and lighter, and can make the ENFJ also feel more confident about his or her own decisions, about what they're doing. And as I said, like it's like ENFJ needs someone that validates their self-esteem somehow, like the way, not only the way they think but also the way they look, and like they're extrovert feelers. So for them the exterior environment is very important, and the ENFP provides with that praise and with that sort of validation that they need. They're also more focused, and I think that that's what makes them a J, like a judger. is the NI. So they're really hands-on people that can focus on one task at a time. They get shit done, they get things done. Like, they are not like, we can have big ideas and then the ENFJ will put the ideas into like work. Like, they would say, I'm gonna do that, and they would not even need to talk a lot about it, they would just do it. So that can be like a very nice team for working together, because the ENFP will come with the ideas, or will validate the ideas that the ENFJ has, and then the ENFJ would be the one who doesn't necessarily needs to do the whole work, but the one who will initiate and will put like the things into place. It's like a more of a project manager kind of person. Not particularly talking about like a job. I'm talking about like sort of the way their mind works. And SE makes them also very aware of their environment, of what needs to be done. And it's like, it's not, for instance, like we ENFPs, we can also be aware of, not really, like sometimes we can be aware of what's like, when we're under stress, we think like, oh, everything is just disorganized and needs to be organized and whatever, but it's a stressful situation for us. But for ENFJs, it's more like something needs to be done and then they do it. And I'm talking about like physical things, it's sensory things, and that's their third function. So they will go and hands on, bam, do that, bam, do that. So I can think that, yeah, in my experience with all of the ENFJ people I know, I think, yeah, it's like great vibe. It's like super empathic or empathetic. I hope the word is, yeah, I hope that's a word. Yeah, so people that feels the other, and that is very caring, and sometimes I think can be so caring that they sometimes put their own needs aside. So that's what they have to be careful with. But they are also inspiring people, and they really like, this really protagonist name that they give them, because it's like they put themselves like, it's like a talk show, like you have an ENFJ, and they are great at asking questions that make the other person feels like this person is interested in me. But at the same time, it's like they're leading the conversation, they're the leaders, so they can be great as hosting, for instance, a webinar, hosting a conference, or leading a meeting. They're comfortable with that, and I think that's also something that makes a good match with an ENFP in a relationship, let's say a romantic relationship, because this person, I can see how could, for instance, be the one who is more in front of people, or the one who kind of is the social face of the couple, because the ENFP doesn't always have that eagerness or willingness to deal with social situations all the time. Like, yes, we can do that sometimes, but not always, not really, and we can run out of energy. The ENFJ can also be good at reminding the ENFP, like, just regular things like, did you eat? Did you drink? Don't forget that you don't have to eat that kind of things. Like, ENFJs can be just good at keeping track of regular life chores that are kind of difficult for ENFPs, when at the same time they're intuitive. So I think that's what's good of the ENFJs, is like they do use sensory sensory functions, even though they're not sensor dominant. So that also makes it easier to, also the communication. So that makes easier sort of communication between two people, because we're talking about two intuitive people that can have very nice intuitive conversations, abstract conversations, and understand each other very well. So yeah, cheers to all of the ENFJ friends and people in my life that are great people to have around. Okay, so this is all for today. Until next time, my name is Mindy, and subscribe. Bye.